What do you see on video of Tennessee?
Shoot, they're one of the better offenses we've faced all year. About 37 a game. They got playmakers in the right places. Quarterbacks played great most of the year. The receivers are big-time guys. They kind of set the tone for this team. The O-line coach is a friend of mine. He worked for me at Cincinnati. He's done a great job improving the O-line. They play tough. They play hard. They play physical. Their issues haven't been on offense. They've been putting up some numbers until this last ball game. They really put up some big numbers, and so we got our hands full.
Is this an odd matchup? I mean, two staffs that more than likely will not be there after this game.
I don't even worry about that. I told our guys 3 weeks ago, you're going to get our best effort until the day is done, and that's what we're doing. I don't even look. I haven't approached anything any different since the day they told us I'm not going to be here after Sunday. I don't care how they look at it. I can't control how Tennessee's going to look at it. But our kids have been practicing as hard as they've ever practiced all year. Our coaches are working as hard as we've worked all year. We've got one more game to go with these guys, so we're trying to do our best to put ourselves in favor to have a chance to be successful.
What will you say? What will be sort of your parting words to these players?
Well, the seniors, it's business as usual. They'll never have known the difference other than when they come back, it won't be Coach Phillips' staff or himself around. But he will always go down as their head coach. That won't change. So the environment around them will change when they come back down the road. You know, stick around next spring, next year. They come back, NFL kids. It'll be a little different environment because there'll be somebody else running the program. We'll talk to our other kids briefly when the game's over and talk to them about how it would be in their best interest to buy in 100% to the new guy, whoever he may be. It will harp on those kind of things. You know, keep doing what they do, finish out the semester strong academically, stay clean. Don't let sprint to the finish. In other words, don't coast. Don't put your grades in jeopardy for next year's first 4 or 5 games, whatever those rules fall into being. But finish strong. You know, you got to be your own boss a little bit. There'll be somebody perhaps to answer to, but it gives you a chance to, whenever you change coaches, you probably please 50% of them, while the other 50% are disappointed because all the guys who don't play don't like you. Okay, so that's just the way life is. You know, it's a breath of fresh air for some kids, and it's disappointing for kids like Avery, perhaps who's going into his senior years, now's mastered our system, all that kind of stuff. But these guys, kids are resilient. When you come get a job, it's like marrying into a family with kids, and you got to take them. And when they make the change this way, then their parents got divorced, and they didn't have any say who the new dad was. And they got to accept and kind of live by the new rules. And hopefully they're good and they're solid, and it's a great individual, and I'm sure it will be. And they'll move forward. Kids are always bounce-back kids, no matter what happens in life. They're much more resilient than adults. They don't think about it too much. They just kind of do it. And so we'll wish them well and all that kind of stuff and be pulling for them always. Kentucky will always have a special place in your heart because whenever you work somewhere for a while, you give everything you have. And then therefore when you leave some of yourself behind. You leave some of yourself behind in the souls and the lives of all the kids who depart. Whether it be Danny and Winston last year, just a small part of me left because I had them for 10 months to a year. Same with these kids here. They'll always be a part. You always follow them. You'll read the box scores from now on. You'll see the internet. You'll see the scores flow by. You'll know the names for 2 or 3 years, while it's fresh, and the names are still the same until, that passes and a new generation comes on. So it's always a unique challenge and opportunity for all of us to follow each other's careers. And I'll keep their numbers in my cell phone if any of them ever want to talk. I try to remain friends with all kids who aspire to be friends as life goes on. Now that I'm 58, I've got 50-year-old former players out there, because I've been in it so long. So you never lose friendships. And, the game is really more important than just the X's and the O's and the wins and the losses. That's what determines whether we're here or not. But we're only as close as a phone call or an email or a visit every now and then if our paths cross or if we play on opposing sidelines someday. I've done that before, which is strange, but it happens. So you try to cut the cord and eliminate the on-the-field stuff, and you really get down to the personal stuff, and you try to do what's best for these kids. What's best for these kids, the ones that are returning, is to buy in. No matter who. Unconditionally buy in, because you know what? When I come here, that's what I ask them to do, is to buy in with blind faith and let me prove myself. Well, that's all the new guy will want to do also, whoever he may be.
I know you thought Avery would have a really good year, but he has a chance to finish in the top 5 nationally in tackles. And how far has he come? I know he was really down on himself after that first game. It seems to have really progressed as years gone on.
Avery is, again, if I had a daughter, she could marry Avery. I mean, that's just the way I feel about the kid, personally. And on the playing side, there's a guy that's worked his tail off to be pretty darn good and effective. And as I say, there's always 2 stories to why a guy has a lot of numbers. It's not always good. That he plays a lot of plays, plays all the time, never comes out. But the credit is when he's out there, he's making plays. So you could be out there and get a lot of minutes and not get any tackles. That's, so he's playing a lot of minutes, he's playing a lot of plays, therefore he's made a lot of plays. But since the opener, he's been presented with the opportunity to make tackles, and by golly, he's made a lot of them. He has not missed many. He's a weight room guy. He's a 245-pound guy that loves the game, plays with great spirit, emotion, enthusiasm. He's a great leader. I would assume, not to assume, but I would have the assumption that he'll stay the leader of this group, particularly after Ook and Taylor Wyndham and Mikey and Tay and Cartier have all left. He will be one of the Lone Star returning seniors, and hopefully he takes his rightful place here at Kentucky football.
Rick, the Tennessee beat you deep a couple times last year. With their quarterback, you expect them to test you that way again?
Oh, absolutely. But see, we don't ever worry about covering the decoys. If they're not going to catch it, we're not going to cover it. They did catch 2 on us, 1 for a touch, and it was a great effort by Burden, and he was missing his post partner.
Yep.
Won't say any names.
Yep.
And then the other one was a real scheme beater, where they challenged you in your quarters, which I know Jimmy knows how to do, like Spurrier does, and they hit you just right. That's a tough route. The same one that got Cody earlier in the year on Georgia, I believe it was. Those are tough routes, so we have to do scheme-wise things to protect them. But they'll be freewheeling. They'll look at our film. They'll look at that Arkansas film. They'll salivate until they, get satisfied. But we've shown people all kinds of reasons why there ought to be a lot of things there. But last game, our kids played extremely hard, played well. Hopefully we gain some confidence even down to the 12th game. We're always trying to get better, always trying to improve, trying to eliminate the mistakes. And hopefully with 2 or 3 more good days, our guys get out there and play their tails off for the seniors and for the right to beat them twice, and then for Coach Phillips.
Who are some of the young kids that you felt like if you were back next year were ready to turn a corner in 2013 and become playmakers for you guys?
Well, all the kids on the back end who have played and contributed this year, some in a mighty role, others in a more minimum role, they're all going to be good players. You just mark it down. The Blaylocks are going to be good players. The young corners, all 3 of them are going to be good players. Henderson's going to be a good player. Poncho Thomas